The silent border. For decades, human space was a mystery. The Galactic Union had maps, patrol ships, and deep space sensors. But whenever they scanned the area beyond the border lines labeled Earth territory, they got a silence. No transmissions. No trade. No ships entering or leaving. Just silence and a warning: do not cross into human space. Most species didn't question it. Fear had settled into every council meeting. Stories whispered about how a single human battleship once made an entire fleet vanish without a trace. Others claimed that a mining planet had offended Earth long ago, and now that world no longer appeared on any charts. Still, curiosity always found a way. Captain Doro, of the Nuvan race, was young, eager, and tired of fear. He had read every report, every myth. To him, the silence around human space wasn't a sign of danger, it was a challenge. And he wanted to be the first to solve the mystery. I will not fire weapons. I will not cause harm, he said to his crew. We'll enter, record what we see, and return. If humans are peaceful, we'll know. If not, at least someone must learn the truth. Many of his crew had doubts. The ship, a small cruiser named Torchbeam, had shields and fast engines, but it wasn't made for war. Still, they agreed. It was time to see what the Union feared so deeply. As Torchbeam reached the edge of human space, the crew grew quiet. The stars seemed dimmer. The silence grew thicker. Not a single signal came through. Not even background noise from comets or radio waves. Just silence and cold. This place is too quiet, whispered one crew member. Doro ordered the ship forward. Slowly, carefully, they passed the invisible line that marked the border. No alarm sounded. No ships appeared. It was just empty space. Or so they thought. An hour later, the ship's systems flickered. The lights dimmed and the engine slowed. System error, asked Doro, checking his screen. But everything showed green. Suddenly, a voice came through the speakers. Calm. Smooth. Human, unknown vessel. You have crossed into restricted space. Identify and explain. The crew froze. Doro stood straight. This is Captain Doro of the Torchbeam, ship of the Nuvan Republic. We mean no harm. We are explorers seeking knowledge. A pause, then the voice returned. Prepare for escort. Do not attempt to run. Within moments, they saw it. A ship, massive, black, and silent, glided toward them. It didn't make noise. It didn't send any power signals. It just moved, like a ghost in the stars. The human ship was 10 times the size of Torchbeam. It bore no name. No symbols. Just a glowing red strip across its side. A door opened. A small shuttle left the human ship and approached. What do we do? Asked one of Doro's crew, voice shaking. We follow orders, said Doro quietly. They allowed the shuttle to dock. 2 humans stepped out, one man, one woman. Both wore dark suits with no markings. Their eyes were sharp. Cold. The woman spoke first. You are in space that does not welcome outsiders. There will be no threats, no attacking unless you give us reason. Follow us. Do not lie. Doro nodded. The humans led them to the shuttle. It was sleek, silent, and filled with screens showing strange images, planets, maps, codes in languages they didn't know. As the shuttle sped toward the larger ship, Doro felt a chill run through him. He had expected weapons or aggression. But this calm, cold control felt even more dangerous. No fear. No anger. Just complete confidence. As they docked with the large human ship, Doro saw hundreds of tiny lights lining the massive hangar. Not blinking lights, eyes. Watching. He had crossed into human space. And now he understood why others feared it. It wasn't just power. It was the silence. The control. The feeling that everything here was being watched, judged, and allowed. Only if it served a purpose. The humans said nothing more, but Doro knew, deep in his bones, that this was not just a visit, this was a test, and failure might mean they'd never return. The eyes that watched Captain Doro and his crew followed the silent humans through the long, cold halls of the giant ship. Every step echoed. There were no signs, no windows, and no decorations. Just black walls, soft white lights above, and distant mechanical hums. It felt less like a spaceship and more like something alive, quietly thinking, listening, and learning. The woman from earlier finally stopped at a door. Inside, she said, the room looked like a meeting chamber. A wide circular table stood in the middle. Screens lined the walls, showing live feeds of ships, stations, alien faces, and stars. In the center of the table, a light glowed red. A new human walked in, older, tall, and wearing a gray uniform. His face was calm, unreadable. He looked at Doro. You crossed our border without permission, he said. Yes, Doro answered. But not with weapons. Not with bad intent. The man didn't blink. Do you know why your ship's engine slowed? Why your lights flickered? Doro hesitated. No, the human nodded slightly. This ship controls gravity, energy flow, and signal density around it. You were inside our net. You didn't notice because we let you breathe. If we didn't, you would have died quietly. Gasps filled the room. One of Doro's crew stepped back, trembling. The man raised a hand. We don't enjoy fear. But we value caution. For years, the galaxy whispered lies about Earth. That we were savages. That we destroyed. That we vanished. He looked straight into Doro's eyes, but we never vanished. We watched. The screens around them flickered. Now they showed moments, clear recordings of alien fleets, governments, secret talks, and dark deeds. All of it being monitored. Doro stared in disbelief. You watched the entire galaxy. We did. And we learned. One screen showed a Nuvan War Council. Doro recognized it. It was from 10 years ago, before he joined the fleet. Back then, the Council had spoken about the human threat, saying Earth would be ignored, left alone, maybe even attacked one day. You were spying on us, said one of Doro's officers, angry. The human nodded. No. We were preparing. He stepped closer. When Earth first joined the Galactic Union, we tried peace. We offered help. Trade. Science. And you laughed at us. Called us Deathworlders as if it was an insult. He paused. Then came the attacks. Minor, silent ones. Fleets disappearing near our borders. Outposts destroyed by pirates. But we knew. The Union was testing us. Doro lowered his eyes. He couldn't deny it, so we chose a new path, the man said. We stopped speaking. We built. We grew. And when they feared us, we let them. Because fear protects us better than trust ever did. Doro finally spoke. Why let me in now? Why not stop us the moment we crossed? The man leaned forward. Because something is coming. And we need to know who will stand beside us. Who still dares to look beyond fear. Silence filled the room. Then, a soft beat came from the wall. The screen shifted to a different image. A huge vessel, bigger than even this one, appeared in deep space. It was not human. Its design was sharp, alien, covered in moving armor plates and glowing lines. The human officer narrowed his eyes. That ship is from the Void Edge. A place no one dares explore. It's heading toward Union space. Fast. Doro stared at the screen. We've never seen anything like that. Exactly, the man said. And when it arrives, your people will panic. They will call for help. He turned slowly toward Doro. Now you understand why they fear human space. Because when danger comes, real danger, only we are ready. Asterisk. The weapon Earth never used. Doro and his crew were taken deeper into the human vessel. The hallways seemed to shift as they walked, like the ship was adapting to their presence. Every corridor felt clean, precise, like everything had a purpose. The human woman, who still hadn't shared her name, led them to a new chamber. This one was massive. The walls glowed faintly, and strange machines lined the room. In the center stood a giant object, circular, smooth, and humming softly. It was connected to thick cables and surrounded by shielding. Doro tilted his head. What is this place? The woman replied without emotion, this is one of Earth's silos. A vault holding weapons we never used. You are seeing the oldest one. It was built before the silence began. One of Doro's officers stepped forward. Why show us this? We've never seen anything like it. A quiet voice answered, this time from a speaker above. The voice was not human. It was mechanical, clear, but filled with personality, because your kind believes Earth has forgotten how to make war. We have not. Doro's eyes widened. That's an AI. Yes, the woman confirmed. Its name is Virex. It watches every vault, every system, every signal. And now, it watches you. Virex continued, your entry triggered low-level scans. You are not carrying hostile technology. Therefore, you are allowed to see this chamber. Suddenly, the object in the center opened slowly, revealing its core, blue light spinning in a sphere. The energy pulsed like a heartbeat. Doro felt something strange in his chest. His skin tingled. The human woman explained, this is a gravitational warhead. It doesn't explode with fire. It collapses matter. A single one could erase a planet. In seconds. The crew fell silent. Shocked, Doro whispered, you built something that could destroy an entire world. And then you never used it. The woman nodded. Not once. Why? She looked at him. Because we don't want to rule. We don't want power. We want peace. But peace only lasts if you hold a sword sharp enough to end war before it begins. Doro looked around the chamber. Dozens of similar vaults lined the walls, sealed, sleeping, silent. How many of these do you have? He asked. Virex answered, enough to end every war before it starts. Enough to be remembered not for action, but for restraint. A new screen lit up behind them, showing a timeline. Doro watched as small incidents, spies near Earth, secret fleets hiding beyond asteroid belts, were all detected by the humans long before anyone knew they happened. All neutralized silently. No battles. Just disappearances. That's why the galaxy fears you, Doro said quietly. It's not because of what you've done. It's because you never needed to act. You were always ready. The human woman gave a rare nod. Correct. And now, we face a problem we cannot ignore. That alien vessel from the Void Edge, our systems cannot scan it. Its tech is old and ancient. And it is moving toward Union space with unknown intent. Doro took a deep breath. What do you want from us? We want one thing, the woman replied. Honesty. Will you tell your leaders what you've seen? Or will they pretend Earth is still weak, waiting to be challenged again? Doro looked at his crew. They were pale, silent. They had seen more in hours than they expected in a lifetime. I will tell them the truth, he said. They won't believe it at first, but when that ship arrives, they will beg Earth for help. The lights around the vault dimmed. The warhead closed again. Virex spoke once more, then pray we choose to answer. Asterisk, the first sign of doom. Captain Doro's ship, Torchbeam, was released the next day, but it wasn't the same ship anymore. Before leaving human space, it was refitted silently. The engines were faster. The shields stronger. The systems now included silent codes buried deep in the data, gifts from the humans, or perhaps warnings. We are allowing you to return, the human woman said before departure. But from this point on, you carry our shadow. Everything you do will be watched. You are no longer alone. Doro nodded. The Torchbeam left human space with no pursuit. As they crossed back into Union territory, the stars seemed brighter. But their minds were heavier. Back in the capital, Doro stood before the Nuvan High Council. Leaders from other species joined by Holo. All of them wore the same look, doubt, pride, curiosity. He gave them the truth. He told them what Earth had become. What the human ship held, what the humans could do. He showed them the footage, the warhead vault, the AI, the silent judgment, and they laughed. One elder counselor sneered, stories. Tricks. You fell for an illusion. Earth is bluffing. Others agreed. One cruiser visited their border. That proves nothing. We need no human help. Doro slammed his hand on the table. I saw a weapon that bends gravity. I saw no lies, only silence sharp enough to cut through fleets. You fear what they have not done, but you do not understand what will happen if they are forced to act. Still, the council refused to act. No fleets were sent. No warnings shared. And no messages to Earth were approved, but Doro wasn't done. He leaked the data across the Union. News spread fast, images of the human ship, reports of the AI named Virex, and footage of a weapon that could swallow moons. Most citizens were shaken. Others demanded answers. Still, the governments remained quiet. Then came the first sign. It started at the edge of Union space, an old mining colony near the void edge. A deep space probe picked up a strange pulse. Then a second. Then a wave of static. A message followed, mining outpost 9 Delta requesting help. Strange object in orbit. No response from it. Power failing. Atmosphere is, then silence. 12 hours later, a patrol ship arrived. The colony was gone. No fire. No debris. Just a gone. As if something had erased it. When the news reached the council, panic followed. Doro stood again before them. Now do you understand? This is not human tech. This is something older. Something worse. And it's coming. The same elder whispered, pale now. What do we do? Doro said one word, call Earth. Back inside human space, a massive station came to life. Virex processed the signal instantly. The Union has sent an emergency request. The human woman stood on the bridge of her ship. She looked at the screen, now showing several Union vessels begging for guidance. Behind her, the old human commander returned. It begins, he said. She nodded. Shall we send a warning fleet? He shook his head. No. Not yet. Send one ship. Let them see who really watches the stars. Hours later, as the Union scrambled to prepare for more attacks, a single human ship dropped out of fold space. Above the Nuven homeworld. It was sleek, dark, and humming with PowerPoint. One message was sent, translated into every language. You feared us for a reason. Now you understand why. Stand back and survive. Asterisk. The shadows that moved the lone human warship above the Nuven homeworld was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. It didn't broadcast its name. It didn't show its weapons. It simply hovered, calm, unshaken, and silent. The Union scrambled. Dozens of defense ships formed around the planet, unsure whether to aim weapons or flee. But the human ship made no move to attack. Inside, the human woman from before stood on the bridge, watching quietly. The ship's AI, Virex, spoke calmly. In her ear, void signals increasing. Enemy projection, 3 days. She nodded. 3 days until the real threat arrives. Let them see what fear feels like now. Back on the surface, Doro stood in the central council chamber, surrounded by confused and panicked leaders. The humans sent one ship. One asked in disbelief. They said it was enough. Doro replied. The Nuven elder, now pale and shaken, looked out the window at the hovering vessel. What can one ship do? Before Doro could answer, a new transmission arrived from the border systems. This time, there was no scream. No explosion, only a live video feed. A strange, monstrous object drifted through the stars. It looked like a giant black root wrapped in metal, like something that had grown and adapted in deep time. Its armor pulsed like living flesh. Behind it, moons were breaking apart, drawn into the gravity around its body. The room fell silent. The signal ended. Virex's voice then echoed through every major government building, every screen, every planet of the Union. We advised peace. We prepared for silence. Now we act for survival. A ripple appeared in space above the Nuven capital. From it, 4 more human ships emerged, each larger than the last. They didn't fire. They simply moved into a diamond formation, surrounding the planet from orbit. Back on the Union Council floor, someone whispered, they were ready the whole time. And it was true. Earth had not hidden in fear. It had watched. It had listened. It had tracked every anomaly, every strange signal from the edge of known space. The Union thought Earth was closed off. But in reality, it had built a wall, an invisible one, guarding all of known space from what lurked beyond. And now that wall was about to face its first test. The old human commander appeared on every screen. His face was calm, but serious. You ignored us. You feared us. And that fear kept you safe. Now it's too late to stop what's coming. But it's not too late to survive. He leaned forward slightly. Stay out of our way. Or die in ours. In The deepest part of the void, something massive opened its eyes for the first time in centuries. It had no name. No language. No understanding of kindness or peace. It only knew hunger, and it had just noticed human space. The thing from the void, the alien vessel from the void edge, moved like no other ship. It didn't travel through normal space. It bent reality itself, slipping between folds, blinking across stars, appearing one moment and vanishing the next. No scanner could lock on. No weapon could reach it, and now it was close. The Union fleet tried to respond. Dozens of warships launched from nearby systems. They formed a blockade at the edge of the Nuven sector. Energy cannons were charged. Shields raised. Then, the alien ship appeared, without warning. Without sound. It simply blinked into view, right in the middle of their fleet. The Union commanders had no time to react. Within seconds, several ships lost power. Others twisted as if gravity itself had turned inside out. One cruiser imploded, its hull folding into a point no larger than a coin. Panic spread like wildfire. Some ships turned to flee, others fired. The alien ship didn't move. It didn't even show damage. It didn't fire back. Instead, long tendrils of dark metal unfolded from its sides, stretching out like arms. Strange symbols glowed along its body, symbols no species had ever recorded. The Union fleet was falling apart. Then, Earth responded. From orbit above the Nuven homeworld, the 5 human ships moved as one. They didn't wait for orders. They didn't call for help. They simply opened fire, but their weapons were not like the Union's. No explosions. No loud energy blasts. Instead, a narrow beam of light stretched from the lead human ship to the alien vessel, pure, silent, white. It hit the alien ship directly in the center. For a moment, the void creature froze. Then the second human ship fired something else, a pulse wave that turned the stars behind it blurry, like the very air around it was bending. The alien ship responded. At last. It roared, but it was not sound. It was a mental scream. Every being in the nearby systems felt it. Heads ached. Noses bled. Ships shut down. Minds buckled. Except for the humans, their ships were shielded not just by metal and code, but by design from another time. The old human commander stood calmly on his bridge. Virex's voice echoed around him. Voidborn entity is now aware. Countermeasures engaged. Initiating vault sequence. From deep within Earth's fleet, a chamber opened, and something ancient rose. Not a weapon, but a ship, older than the rest, covered in markings from long-forgotten wars. It had no name. It had no lights. But its presence made the stars dim. It moved toward the void creature. It didn't fire. It didn't speak. It simply charged, faster than any eye could follow, and when it struck, the stars blinked. The alien ship staggered, actually staggered. For the first time, Doro and his crew, watching from a secure orbital station, couldn't believe it. That thing, it heard it. It actually heard it. The old commander nodded slowly. It's not over. That was just the first blow. On the council floor, many leaders had gone silent, some had fainted, others sat trembling, staring at the sky. Doro turned to them, voice shaking. You feared Earth because you never understood it. Now you see. Earth wasn't hiding from us. It was protecting us. And now, we need them more than ever. Far beyond the current battle, in the dark spaces between galaxies, others began to stir. They had watched Earth for centuries. Now, seeing what humans had built, what they had unleashed, they made a decision. The war was only beginning, but it would not be fought alone. The Guardians of Silence. The alien ship from the void edge began to crack, not from outside pressure, but from something inside it, something ancient that had just realized it had met a greater predator. The old nameless human warship, black and silent, moved with impossible precision. Its hull glowed faintly with deep blue energy, like stars swirling inside a storm. Every motion it made bent light, twisted gravity, and left ripples across sensors galaxy-wide. From the orbital station, Captain Doro and his crew watched history unfold. The human fleet didn't cheer, they didn't celebrate, they kept firing. One beam at a time, focused, unrelenting. Each shot was calculated, not for damage, but to control the alien vessel. To steer it away from major systems. To force it back, toward the edge of known space, and it was working. The void creature tried to counter. Its tendrils lashed out, tearing through a Union cruiser by accident as it recoiled. But it could not touch the humans. They were too fast, too Quiet, too prepared, then came the final blow. The ancient Earthship released something from its underside, a silent orb of spinning energy. It fell slowly toward the creature, then vanished mid-air. Seconds later, space around the alien ship warped. Everything seemed to fold inward for one instant, then it was gone, not destroyed, contained. Virex's voice echoed once more through every channel, target sealed. Rift window closing. Operation complete. The human ships turned, without a word, without waiting, they vanished, one by one, back into human space. The galaxy watched, stunned, not by fire or war, but by power held in silence. 3 days later, the Union Council met in emergency session. Leaders of 100 worlds sat in silence. No one spoke for hours, then Captain Doro stood. The galaxy feared human space, he said. We feared it because we didn't understand it. But now, we must thank it. Because without Earth, we'd all be gone. One elder finally asked, what do we do now? Doro answered simply, we listen. Months passed, Earth said nothing. It didn't boast. It didn't invade. It didn't ask for praise. Its ships returned to the shadows. Its AI vanished from the Union network. And human space remained as it was before, dark, silent, watching, but the galaxy changed. No one crossed Earth's border without permission anymore. New treaties were written, with Earth now silently present. In every discussion, and every species began to prepare, not for war, but for the unknown, because now, they understood the truth. Earth wasn't feared because of its weapons. It was feared because of its restraint. It was feared because when the stars screamed for help, Earth didn't hesitate. It simply answered, and that answer saved them all. Asterisk.